Quite a while ago, I got into a debate on an MRA blog with a feminist. This particular debate centered around the idea of feminists being much more refined in their posts and nowhere near as man-bashing as this feminist contend MRA blogs were in reverse. Does that make sense? Anyway, she invited me to have a look around some feminist blogs and dared me to find any as belligerent as the blog we were on, which I admit was pretty belligerent. So I poked around, and at first they did indeed seem to be much more civilized places. The language was indeed more refined looking. The subject matter was more in-depth as well, arguing nuances and semantics, ideas and social methodology. I was admittedly begrudgingly impressed, and I began to wonder about the future of the men's rights movement and how we could evolve. But then, while thinking about this, I began to notice some things. These were hardly revelations, mind you. I mean, they're just lining up and clicking into place of several things that I knew but didn't really connect. There was no dissent, or not much dissent anyway, because people were banned outright almost immediately if they held an opposing view. Dissent was to be limited to those feminists that dissent with the others over minor quibbles. Those who disagreed with the basic premise of feminism, i.e. that men are shitheads that deserve to be punished or held back so women can take their turn, were shown the door, in most cases without warning or reason given. Some feminist blogs are more open, although these heavily censor the posts of those who disagree. This may not be done to limit debate or to block the spread of information of ideas. This may truly be a method to keep on topic. One must only look to see who tends to get censored to see if there's a bias. Since it's such an easy experiment, I invite you to try it out for yourself. So the civilized aspect can in part be explained through censorship. But what about the rhetoric? It seems so academic and smarty-pantsish, and that's because it is. They have whole ideas of study built up around their central sexist thesis. But strip it down, or better yet, demand the feminists speak English. If she knows what she's saying instead of parroting a professor, by the way, she should be able to do this. If she can't, well, she really doesn't know what she's doing anyway. But you strip these feminists down, and what do you get? Patriarchy theory. Well, patriarchy theory equals we assert men had everything handed to them in the past, and we demand that you hand everything to women now. Questioning patriarchy theory is tantamount to denying the Holocaust in a feminist eyes. Another reason why these blogs seem so civilized, well, they have quite literally almost nothing left to complain about. They have to make shit up to justify their existence now, which is why they obfuscate whenever possible, position themselves as the only ones that truly understand gender differences, all the while hoping that nobody notices the only thing they know about men is that they're to blame, and rag on MRAs all the time. Hey, it must be scary seeing a group with legitimate, socially sanctioned, and legally enforced discrimination being perpetrated against them, and it's you they're coming after to rectify it. Damn scary indeed, I would imagine. Which brings me to the hateful part. These sites are hateful, all right. Not in the same wailing and gnashing of teeth way that MRA sites are. There's a far more passion on MRA blogs. There's far more pain and far more genuine shock at the way that they were treated. A lot of MRAs are dealing with seeing women in a negative light for the first time in their lives. But feminist sites? Cold, dispassionate, and loathing. These people casually view men as subhuman, broken, in need of serious fixing. These people hate men, make no mistake about it. They've institutionalized the hatred of men. The blaming of men and masculinity is a central tenet of feminist thinking. This means that you cannot be a feminist unless you blame men for women's failures. And they do. All of them do, in one way or another. Hell, they blame men for the state men find themselves in right now. It's called the patriarchy hurts men too argument. And it, like patriarchy theory itself, is utter bullshit invented to justify doing terrible things to men. And all you have to do to prove this to yourself is visit a feminist blog for a while.